You know, AJ, I was going to intro this week, but I'm already upset. Last night I stayed up late. I was drinking energy drinks, and I tried the worst energy drink I've ever had on the face of this earth. I tried the Rock's Zoa drink, and AJ, it's not good.
Okay. You're overreacting. You're definitely... Come on.
No, it's not. Are you really looking me in the face?
It's better than like a Bang. It tastes better than Bang.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
How? What part about it tastes better than Bang?
Every part about it.
What Bang have you tried?
All of them. I've tried like every Bang, and they all. It's like drinking like paint thinner. It's terrible.
No, Four Loko is what tastes like paint thinner.
Well, yes, but like the Bangs like literally just taste like they're terrible.
They're not good, but I mean, come on, man, that Zoa stuff is terrible.
I wouldn't say it's not the best energy drink on the planet or anything, but like it's tea based. It doesn't taste like any other energy drink.
It was painful drinking that.
It was not that bad. You're overreacting.
Okay, I had the orange flavor and I had the blue master berry flavor or whatever the hell it's called. They were awful. As soon as you open the can, it smells like an essential oil diffuser. Like it fills the air, and it does not smell like food. It smells like a fucking orange peel. It doesn't smell good.
I don't know. I tried the white peach and it was alright. Like it was fine. Like I don't know.
Look, all right. Let me lay it down for you. I take the first sip. I take a sip of the drink, and I'm like, that's not bad. I go in for a second one. Immediately, all it does, it tastes like if you took a bottle of body armor, added 160 milligrams of caffeine, and carbonated it. And it's terrible. It's really not good. Carbonated tea is not a good idea.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. He's making bank off of it either way.
The Rock makes bank either way, but his energy drink is terrible. It needs to be stopped now, all right? The Rock has, he does tequila too. I'm sure it's tequila, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that's fine. He needs to stop the energy drink. It is unnecessary. There's enough out there that are better. I will drink a can of Monster any day. I'll drink the Mountain Dew Kickstart over the Rock's Zoa Energy. Anyway, Boba Fett came out. That started. We haven't talked about that yet, so let's get into it.
Oh, just like that?
Yeah, just like that.
Right.
I'm done with The Rock.
All right, fine. Well, let's move on. Now, me and you, we just finished watching the third episode, right? I think there's 7 total. And all right, let's start with episode 1. Like we watched it, and I mean, it was okay. Like, just like I wouldn't say it was as good as like the Mandalorian's first couple episodes, and it was just like way slower. Should we do spoiler alert for the first 3 episodes? Yeah,
we probably should do a spoiler for the first 3.
Yeah.
If you plan to watch them before you listen to this. I guess we can throw a timestamp down there for when we get to the next topic if you want to listen past this. But yeah, there's your spoiler warning.
All right, so back to episode 1. Like it was slow, but it was like kind of selling the world. So I was willing to forgive that, and I liked everything with the sand people. Then episode 2 rolls around. I actually think it was a big improvement. I think episode 2 was
episode 2 was definitely better than the first one. We got not quite as much. I don't know. The first 2 episodes, we don't get a whole lot of current Boba Fett. We don't see him in Mos Espa as much. That's more in the 3rd episode, I think.
Yeah, but everything in episode 2 with the sand people and the train, like that was all cool. It was cool to see Boba Fett like what he was doing.
Yeah,
in between.
Well, yeah, we got some action, and the flashbacks provide a really good setup for, if you haven't seen it, when he shows up in the Mandalorian.
And my favorite thing is that like some like when it's green before and it shows like there's like the film like editing technique where like they change like it's all green and grainy before like when it does the flashback. It just looks so cool.
Yeah, visually the show is really satisfying. It's
shot very well.
I guess the only place where it kind of starts to have downfalls are
episode 3.
No, because I'm not a huge fan of the action sequences. I hope it gets more exciting because, like, even the first time with the assassination attempt, they're all beaten up on him and he's surrounded by shields. Why doesn't he just jetpack up and shoot them?
Yeah, there's a couple, like, little plot things there. Like, you watch him and you're like, I feel like Boba Fett wouldn't do that. Like, he'd do
I don't know. I mean, look, he was in episode 6 for about 25 minutes, and he used his jetpack more than he has in the entire show so far. He's got the jetpack. Let him use it. I want to see, that's part of his character. That's part of the armor he wears. I want to see use of it, The Mandalorian has his jetpack for a few episodes, and he uses it quite a bit.
Yeah, I don't know. It's strange, but let's move on to, I think, the internet consensus is that episode 3 is very controversial.
That's where the quality really takes a dip, I think. The new characters, I don't like. All right, outright. I was mad in the intro. I gotta get mad again. The biker gang that works for Boba Fett.
Oh, they're so stupid.
Why? Why do they ride around on their little Vespa scooters and wear all these super colorful clothes and they look like they're from Cyberpunk?
Yeah, it's not Star Wars. If you showed any, like, just take those characters, a screenshot of that character, and showed it even to a Star Wars fan who hasn't seen the show, they would not be able to say, oh yeah, that's a Star Wars character. Because usually you can tell.
It doesn't look like it. Star Wars characters have a very distinct look to them.
It looks like Cyberpunk 2077. Why? It should not.
I guess that's where the rest of the game went.
Yeah, exactly.
They donated it to Star Wars.
They took all the unused files and gave it to Lucasfilm. It's just, they look so dumb.
They really do.
And I don't understand their purpose. And they're like millennials.
The only thing about it is, like, Jabba, when you see him in his palace, he's got all these, like, cool-looking, like, bounty hunters and guards and gangsters and stuff all around him. And they look cool. It adds to the character of Jabba himself, because you see the people he's surrounded by. Why does Boba Fett not have more cool bounty hunters like Fennec Shand, even though she's a little more annoying in this than the Mandalorian?
I don't think, like, she just doesn't do anything. She just kind of stands there, like, oh, want me to do this?
Yeah, she's just the yes man now, which I guess
anything.
is okay.
Like, she's a cool character. Have her do something.
Have Boba Fett do something too.
Yeah, the only thing we see her do is in the first episode when she captures the one assassin, which literally doesn't mean anything other than they get to see the mayor. Yeah, but that's the thing. That's what pisses me off, is that, like, they have the whole Hutt thing they set up in episode 2 with this cool Wookiee. It's like, oh, he's gonna have like a power struggle with the Hutts. That makes sense. Logically, you would expect the Hutts to come and try to take Jabba's territory. They're not just gonna let Boba Fett have it. Oh no, they're leaving the next episode. Gone. Bye.
Yeah, I don't like that episode 3. I like that it's the Pikes, because the Pikes were a big part in Clone Wars. They played a bigger role than the Hutts did. And
no, the Pikes are cool, but
and you see them in some of the other expanded content. But, like, I guess it's just that I was anticipating this rivalry with the Hutts. I mean, their intro in the second episode was this big thing. You hear the drum coming down the street, and then you see the two Hutts on their later. What is it, the later?
I don't know. They're like
the thing they get carried on.
Yeah, and then they have this really cool, like, Wookiee bounty hunter. It's like, oh, we're seeing, like, more unique bounty hunters. This is awesome. Oh, they're gone. Both gone. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the Wookiee shows up again.
I mean, come on. And at the end, the Hutts give the Wookiee to Boba Fett as tribute. And they say, do whatever with him, we don't really care.
And he just lets him run away.
And he doesn't stick around. He doesn't hire him. He would be a way cooler part of his crew than the 5 cyberpunk kids that all hang out.
They're so annoying. And why is there only 2 the Gamorrean guards?
Yeah, there's only 2 Gamorrean guards.
What happened to the rest of them? Did they all quit under Bib Fortuna? He was such a terrible leader that they all just quit.
Maybe.
I mean, Luke and the rest of the rebels, they didn't murder all of them. They didn't all die. And,
no,
like,
I mean, there were plenty of people in Jabba's palace.
There was a ton. Like, even, like, it wouldn't it make more sense for Boba Fett to go around and be like, oh, you used to work for Jabba, you might have quit under Bib Fortuna. Come work for me. But no, you don't see that.
Yeah.
He goes and hires a bunch of millennials on their Vespas who are just annoying.
He doesn't really hire them, but
it's like, oh, come work for me because you're poor.
He's like, oh, you don't have a job, you work for me now. And it's like,
that's a cool thing. That's what I expect a daimyo to do. But it's like, why? But, like, why these characters? I don't know.
Well, we also haven't gotten much of seeing Boba Fett rebuilding Jabba's empire. It's more that, like, there's nothing there.
He just walks around with his 2 guards and then walks into, like, the bar or nightclub he owns and is like, oh, here's my money. And then there's that, I hate the mayor's assistant. He's so annoying. The actor's not, he's such a terrible actor. I do not believe that, like, he is that character.
He's not a bad actor.
Yes, he is.
No, he's just, they picked the wrong guy for the role. Like,
he just doesn't seem, like, he doesn't feel like a Star Wars character. He doesn't feel like a real character to me. Seems like fake.
Yeah, I don't know who it is, but I kind of recognize his face.
I actually liked the mayor. The mayor, I thought was cool. Probably won't see them again.
I didn't. We got nothing of the mayor. I mean,
they're a lot cooler than the assistant, though.
In the trailer, it was all built up like it was going to be the mayor seemed like it was going to be the bad guy. There was no context of, oh, this is the mayor of Mos Espa. It was just, here's Boba Fett, and here's this other guy that sits on another throne, and he's this hammerhead shark alien guy. You know, it seemed pretty cool. But episode 3, they go looking for him, and he's just gone. Like,
I mean, they'll probably show up again. It's just like, I don't know. It's just, there's, like, a lot of questionable things. But let's not be too negative. let's talk about the best scene in that episode.
The Rancor?
The Rancor scene.
The Rancor is so great, and it really, like, seeing the smile on Boba Fett's face while he's playing with it, and then the murder droid comes in that works for him, and he's just like, this is important, and he's like, no, leave me alone, I'm busy.
Because he's just petting his little Rancor pet, and that made me smile. I had a smile on my face throughout that entire scene. It genuinely looked like Tamara Morrison was enjoying.
I think the best thing about that scene, though, is listening to Danny Trejo explain the complex emotions of Rancors and how they work. It is so funny.
That was a perfect casting choice.
Yeah.
To be the Rancor trainer.
They did great picking him as the Rancor trainer, and I really hope he sticks around. I really want more
I want to see more of that. Not that it should be like a major part of the show, but I want to see, like, that was just
I think it will be a big part, maybe not like a super important, but the thing is, the Pikes are here. He's gonna learn to ride the Rancor.
Oh, that's gonna be cool. Like, that's cool. I want to see more stuff like that, and like stuff that like just genuinely, that was like a really personal moment for Boba Fett.
Yeah, well, it's cool because it's like actually character building him. Because the thing is, like, I guess they're kind of throwing him in there as this like pre-established character, but we really don't know that much about him.
Yeah, like he walks around, I'm gonna rule with respect. Oh, okay, what does that mean? You haven't done anything.
Nobody respects you.
Yeah, nobody respects you, and you haven't done. And the first act you do is you like the guy that won. And like, granted, that guy was like having his waters like way overselling it, like it was super overpriced.
He was kind of a dick.
Yeah, it's kind of a dick, but like, you're just like, oh, I'll pay you off like a third of what you wanted, and I'm just taking all these kids off your hand. Like, it just it's just strange.
He got him off the street, which is what the guy said. He was like, if you get this scourge off the streets, I'll double my tribute. So I guess he did it in his own kind of way. It's just
every action he does feels weird.
And it doesn't feel like the Boba Fett we saw in the Mandalorian.
Yeah, I know. This doesn't feel like there's some parts like when I'm watching like the flashbacks. Like, yeah, that seems to. Like, everything that he did in the flashbacks makes sense to me. It's like, that is, I would imagine that is what Boba Fett would do.
Well, I guess it doesn't feel like the same Boba Fett that gets reintroduced in The Mandalorian, because you see him in The Mandalorian, and, he shows up, and he's like a brute, He's killing people with his Tunji stick, and once he gets the armor on, he's jetpacking around, he's shooting everybody. You see the little missile things in his knees. And like it's a ton of action, and like, but then you also get the characterization of Boba Fett. He's got his armor back, but he's like, no, we still owe you, This is something that we still have to do, but, he's a badass the whole time. And this one, it feels kind of watered down, This one feels too much like a drama, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know, it's just, there's a lot of strange choices about this show, like, I'm seeing some really good aspects, but also some really not good aspects that I don't know why they're making. I don't know who made the decision. Was it like the higher ups in Lucasfilm? Was it the writers? I don't know.
Well, the other thing is, like, so we're 3 episodes in now, and we still don't have anything like concrete. Like,
I feel like nothing's really happened.
No, well, because we had the first episode, and that's all right. It sets up. He took over. He's gonna run the kingdom now. And then the second episode, the twins show up. They're here. They're going to try and take your territory. Watch out. Watch your back. They even say they're like, sleep lightly, bounty hunter. Yeah, and then the third episode, and they're like, all right, we're leaving. The Pikes are taking over. So what's the point? Like,
it just feels like a whole lot of nothing's and here's the thing. It feels like all this stuff is happening, and yeah, Boba Fett has nothing to do with any of it. He's just there.
Yeah,
he's just watching it happen. He's a spectator. He's like us. And I don't know, man. It's just frustrating because, like, Boba Fett's like one of my favorite characters in Star Wars, and I know the show can be a lot better than it currently is, and it might improve.
I mean, Boba Fett, he's one of everybody's favorites. He's awesome. He's looks
a classic
cool.
character.
That's true.
And the show can be better. We know it can, and maybe it'll improve, but I do not have high hopes.
I hope so. The thing that makes me nervous about this is it's starting to sink my hopes for Kenobi. I know that The Mandalorian was like really, really, really good. Like, that's one of my favorite like shows, period. But I don't know. I was hoping for at least a similar like quality of it. Like, I don't know. It doesn't feel the same.
The drop feels too steep. And like, actually, I'm not as worried about Kenobi because that's a little separated from, because it's Deborah Chow who directed some of the Mandalorian season 1 episodes, made that.
Yeah.
And I don't think Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are really making Kenobi, because this is making me more worried for Mandalorian season 3 than it is for Kenobi.
I don't want to think about Mandalorian season 3, and I guess part of the reason the drop feels so steep is because the second season of The Mandalorian, the end is so good. Like, it wraps up so nicely. The last few episodes, side characters get the end of their arc. It's full circle. The Mandalorian gets his humongous arc over 2 seasons. They catch Moff Gideon, and it's the end. You know, it feels like the end, and it was really satisfying. And I don't know, it feels different now. It doesn't
I was
feel
so
quite the
excited
same.
for this Boba Fett show when I saw like the thing at the end of season 2 of The Mandalorian, like the little teaser for it. Like, it was so cool. I'm like, that's awesome. Killing Bib Fortuna, taking over, and now it just feels underwhelming. Maybe Star Wars fans' expectations were too high, but like I feel like they're reasonable. It's a Boba Fett show, and it's a good concept of him taking over Jabba's.
Well, I mean, we deserve to have high expectations. The Mandalorian was like the best. The show was amazing, and
yeah, we deserve to have high expectations for how shitty the movies were.
Yeah,
they gotta make up for it.
It seemed like it was going to be really exciting because they're like, hey, here's this bridge. It's a few years after Return of the Jedi, and now we're bringing in these new characters, but they're not Jedis and stuff. We're showing you the regular guys, you know? And Book of Boba Fett's a little lacking. I really hope it picks up. We still have 4 more episodes. We're not even halfway there.
Like, it has time, but I don't know. Like, I'm not holding out any hope.
Me neither, honestly. The Vespa gang and the really slow car chase, just
that car.
It was
going
so
like
long.
2 miles per hour.
It was so long, and they were going like 20 miles an hour. It was like the O.J. Simpson chase. Like, why did you even show that much of it?
I mean, I think this is pretty telling. Let's just, like, The Mandalorian, I mean, like, I don't like Rotten Tomatoes in terms of, like, as, like, an actual, actually, like, good representation of how the show is.
Me neither.
But I do think there is some credit to the audience score, because that can usually give you a better idea. I mean, the critics, for The Mandalorian, it's critics 93, audience 91. Yeah, like, everyone liked it.
Yeah, Mandalorian
Very
was really
high
good.
quality. And this is telling about Boba Fett. The critics, still 90. It's still very highly rated by the critics. However, audience score is at 68.
Ooh.
It was like, I think, mid-70s when the show started, and it's only going down.
I hope it goes back up. I really do.
If the show stays at the quality it's at now, it will go down.
I hope it goes back up. With the Pikes being reintroduced, the thing is, though, now Boba Fett has motive because of what the Pikes, not really what the Pikes did, but I'm sure they're in some way responsible for what happened to the Tuskens.
I think they're trying to connect the two, and I'm assuming that they'll connect the backstory, like flashbacks, and then what's going on with the Pikes in, like, present time, but it's just, I feel like there's so many missed opportunities in this show.
Yeah, they have missed quite a few. I feel like we haven't gotten, like I feel bad for constantly comparing The Mandalorian, but, I mean...
Same creators, same people.
Yeah, they're by the same people. It seems intended to be, in a way, similar. But The Mandalorian had, like, so much, like, weird outlier Star Wars stuff, like weird aliens and ships and stuff that you see in the background, and Book of Boba Fett doesn't really have that. Like,
and there's a lot of scenes in the show that I'm like, it doesn't feel like Star Wars.
Well, I mean, come on. Like, you watch The Mandalorian, you've got these weird background characters. Like, you remember Dr. Mandible, the giant ant, and the frog lady and all this stuff. And then, like, Book of Boba Fett and the no-name side characters we get are a bunch of cyberpunk characters that got left over from CD Projekt Red. Like,
just, I don't know. It's disappointing, and I really hope it improves.
Well, you know what? Let's move on to something better. This is a double feature right here, baby. We're talking about film the whole episode. How about Spider-Man No Way Home? I mean, come on. How could you not love it?
Now, it's interesting. You can't view this film as a film. You can't. I don't think you can do it. It's an event. It's an event film.
It really is an event. It's such a big...
And this is the same problem. It has the same problems that Endgame had. Like, yeah, it's a good film. It's enjoyable. If you're a fan of Spider-Man, you're going to like the film. But you need to watch the other ones. This is not a good standalone film. You can't watch it on its own. You need to have seen the other films.
That's true. Well, at this point, the only thing that makes me a little nervous about Marvel is that it's starting to get so well woven that you gotta see the other movies to understand what's going on at this point. Like, but the thing is, there's so many movies, you can't just start at Iron Man 1 and watch all the way through to Endgame just to know what's going on now.
Yeah, because now even like in the Doctor Strange trailer, if you haven't watched What If, you're gonna be kind of confused about what's going on.
What I think they should do is like what they have for Star Wars, where they have the most important episodes of like Clone Wars, and it's like 30 episodes in like a little collection. They should do that with Marvel, where it's like, hey, here's the most important episodes of shows and movies and stuff that'll get you up to speed enough that you're gonna be able to appreciate what's going on now. Because I've watched every Marvel movie as they've come out, like in order, so I'm very familiar with what's going on, and I loved No Way Home. I thought it was amazing. It was an event movie, but
yeah, I was watching some YouTubers review it, and the one YouTuber, he did not give it a score. He didn't give Endgame a score. It's like, you can't really like put like a score on this movie. Like,
you can't compare it to anything else.
It's because there's not really other film, because Endgame is to this to an extent. Even this is a little different because it's different franchises, not just all one. Is that there really hasn't been films, like even Star Wars isn't exactly like this, it's just one continued story. While this is like calling back to these different stories versus, and there's even Star Wars like 6 to 9 films versus Marvel's on like 25.
That's true.
Like, there's just so many movies.
What I do really like about it is they didn't make it like a super huge point that you didn't have to see the Sam Raimi ones or I don't remember the Andrew Garfield ones to fully understand what's going on in this one. Like, they give you enough backstory just through what the characters say. You'll be able to appreciate it a lot more if you have seen the Andrew Garfield and the Toby Maguire movies, but you don't need to. Like, you can just see the other Marvel movies leading up to this and, them being introduced. It's just like Into the Spider-Verse. It's just new Spider-Mans,
Okay, well, Into the Spider-Verse is the best Spider-Man movie.
Well, obviously, but we're not talking about that. We're here to talk about No Way Home.
Now, it's a really interesting film, and I'm trying to think. Just like it's a tough film to just like casually talk about because there's just so much stuff that happens.
There's a lot that goes on. I want to talk about my favorite part of the movie, the villains. Man, all the villains coming back, they picked so well.
I'm gonna stop you there. There's really only one villain that really shines. I'm gonna be honest. The other 4, there's 5 of them. Only one really shines, which is Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin.
Well, look, all right. Seeing Willem Dafoe, clearly he's the main villain.
He's the main villain. He's the best actor. He's the best character in the movie.
He is not my favorite villain character in this one because we got to see the Doc Ock that never was. They fixed the inhibitor chip in the arms, and he comes back as a good guy and helps them.
I don't even agree with that because he does at the end of Spider-Man 2 when he sacrifices himself.
But it wasn't quite the same. Like, it was cool. It was cool to see him show up and help the 3 Spider-Mans fight Green Goblin and Electro and all them.
Doc Ock is the most underutilized villain. He was in the trailer. Everyone thought he'd be a big part, except he has the one really cool fight with Tom Holland at the beginning. And then he's just kind of like there, and then he gets fixed immediately, and then he basically has no importance in the movie until the end. But I will give credit is that this might be my favorite scene in the film is when you have Tobey Maguire and Doc Ock, and he just looks at him and he goes, "You've grown up, my boy." Just like he's astonished to see Toby as like in his 40s.
Yeah.
And I don't know that because it was almost like a father-son moment because Doc Ock was a father figure for Tobey Maguire in the Spider-Man movies, and he watched him die, and that was sad. And I really liked that they actually kept Toby as like, no, this is 40-year-old Toby, because they could have easily just done like, oh no, this is Tobey Maguire from the same movie as Doc Ock, but no, this is 40-year-old Tobey Maguire who's grown up, but Doc Ock never did grow up because he died.
Yeah, that's true. And
that was my favorite scene, is when he just mentioned that he's all grown up.
Yeah, well, when you see, Tobey Maguire and Doc Ock come face to face, that was more important than, him seeing the Willem Dafoe Green Goblin again, or any of the villains, even though
well, to be fair, he had a much better relationship with Doc Ock before he turned evil. He only, really interacted with Willem Dafoe because he was friends with his son.
Yeah. Now, I don't want to get too into it, because I know James Franco's kind of on the Hollywood no-no list, but yeah, I am pretty sad that he couldn't make a comeback too with Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, it would have been really cool to see
Well, just because it would have been really cool, like, because, it's like people that know Peter Parker's Spider-Man. And that's one of the people, And it would have been really cool to, like, because he sacrificed himself at the end of Spider-Man 3. And it would have been really cool for them to, like, see each other again. Kind of like in the way that that Toby Maguire and Doc Ock, reunite. But I don't know, that would have been cool because, like, Harry was built up over 3 movies and ended up being, like, the good guy,
Yeah, no, it would have been really cool. Fortunately, James Franco is a terrible person.
Yeah, that is quite
unfortunately. So, but what's his name? Oh, the fun plot hole is that I don't think Electro, Jamie Foxx's character, actually knew Spider-Man's identity, but they threw him in the movie anyway.
Yeah.
To be fair, I don't really remember. I've seen both Amazing Spider-Mans. I'm gonna go on a little rant here. I absolutely hate the Amazing Spider-Man 2. I hate it.
Oh, and yeah, it's bad.
That's a lot of people don't like it, but I watched it when I was like, what? I don't even remember. 12, 13, 14? Because I went into the theater, watched it with like my family. I came out of that theater going, wow, I hate that film. Like, I just immediately after finishing it, I disliked it. And my least favorite part is at the very end, he fights Rhino, like the Russian guy in the Rhino suit. Is that they ended the movie on a scene of them about to fight, but they never actually fight. Yet they put that scene in the trailers to make it look like you were going to see that fight. You never did. And also, Gwen dying made no sense. But there's my little rant.
You know what?
At least
it made some kind of importance in this movie because.
Because he redeemed Andrew Garfield.
Because he saves MJ,
This movie redeemed Andrew Garfield.
Oh my God, he's better in this movie than he is in his own movies.
That's the thing. Andrew Garfield's a good actor. He was fine. He was good in his own movies.
Yeah.
It wasn't his fault that the movie sucked.
Yeah. No, they were just shit Spider-Man movies,
Yeah, they were terrible movies, but it wasn't Andrew Garfield's fault. What I've heard is he's the most comic accurate Peter Parker.
Yeah, and what kind of is a bummer is like they brought in, his 2 villains. They brought in Lizard and Electro.
Okay, let's be honest. Lizard and Sandman are they're bench warmers. They don't do
anything. They're totally bench warmers.
They're bench warmers. They literally do nothing.
It's kind of cool that like Sandman gets like the sort of redemption at the end. Lizard is literally just comic relief. He sits in the truck the whole time, and then everybody breaks out, and he like crawls out of the truck, and he's like, "It's happening," and then you never see him again.
Dude, I forgot he was British. So like when like in the first scene, they're all in Doctor Strange's basement, and he just starts talking, and they're like, "You can talk," and it's just this British accent coming out of this animated lizard. It
was funny, and I think he did well as comic relief. But like, come on, we know who the star of the show is. Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin is the villain.
His character is so good. Like, I mean, the actor Willem Dafoe is like an amazing actor.
Oh yeah,
and he brings so much to the character. I don't know. He's almost even better in this film than he was because he was like you can really see the like he doesn't want to be the way he is.
Yeah, you can actually see the tension, and then at the. All right, before we talk about how great Willem Dafoe is, what did you think of Electro in this movie?
Well, he's definitely way better.
Yeah, he was still like super lame though.
He felt, to be fair,
I guess the only thing that annoys me about Electro is like he's so edgy.
To be fair,
he's like I don't want to be normal.
It feels less like Electro as the character. Because, like, if you watch him in Spider-Man 2, he's, like, this nerdy guy. They even mentioned it, had, like, the comb over. He's, like, this nerdy dude. In this movie, it just feels like Jamie Foxx was just being Jamie Foxx. This is just Jamie. He feels way more similar to his character in Jango than he does to Electro in his own movie, that he's the same character.
Because, the thing is, especially because you hear Andrew Garfield reminisce on Electro, and, like... It's not him. That isn't Electro. It's just this guy.
It's Jamie Foxx.
It's this guy who's like super edgy, and he's I don't want to be the good guy, but like, dude, really? Like everybody else on board with this, and for some reason you're gonna be the annoying one. And then even at the end, he's not really even much of a fight scene with him.
Jamie Foxx was not acting. He was just playing himself. But he has electric powers.
He was just happy to be there.
Yeah, he was like, oh, I get to come back sick.
He was like, I get to be in a superhero movie?
It's like, I'll have fun. I'm barely going to try. Give me my paycheck.
Yeah. Well, and again, he is a good actor. It's just that...
Well, he's an okay actor.
He's an okay actor.
He's pretty good in Jango, but...
But I feel like it's just that his character wasn't really done correctly. Like it was, like...
To be fair, his outfit looks sick. Especially when you have the lightning and it does the outline of his comic.
Oh, yeah.
Look, that was
awesome.
He looks amazing.
And I love when he steals the arc reactor, but like... the arc reactor, the little chest thing that Iron Man had. That was cool because he's like, this is energy I've never felt before. But it doesn't make him really that much powerful because he still gets beaten pretty quick. I guess... I kind of wish they had dedicated, maybe made one of the other villains a good guy with Doc Ock too, And
to be fair,
and
Sandman's a good guy because he doesn't. He just wants to go home.
Yeah,
he never dies.
Yeah, Sandman literally just wants to leave.
He wants to go see his daughter. He never dies. And do you know what's funny? He's not actually in the film. They never filmed him. Every scene of him is either CGI when he's like sand, or the scenes where he's human were just repurposed from Spider-Man 3. That wasn't actually him acting.
Yeah, I know.
That's so funny because he had scheduling conflicts, so he couldn't actually come into films. Like, all right, we'll just use Spider-Man 3 footage.
Yeah,
they look the same age.
Yeah,
so.
That's true. I don't know, Sandman. I'm not really hurt about him not really being there. It's just that each villain didn't get much time in the final fight.
Because it's all about the Spider-Man.
Yeah,
like all three of them.
I don't know, because it was cool, but like I'd kind of like if there was a little more fight going on, you know? Not just like these little 2 minutes, fight one guy, all right, he's healed, next guy. I don't know. Maybe if they had spaced it out, like if while they're working on the cures they get attacked by somebody.
True, but they didn't. I mean, the villains didn't know where they were, so
that's true. Come on, Lizard could have found him. He crawls around. Look, okay. He took up, I feel, a lot of space in the last fight. They should have gotten rid of him earlier. They should have figured it out, had him sneak up on him. They fight him a little bit, and then they cure him, and then and then he's done. We don't need to worry about him.
Stupid British lizard.
Because Sandman, they don't really fight either. He just kind of provides a big sandstorm for the fight.
Yeah, but one of my other favorite scenes is when all three Spider-Mans are swinging together and they all land and do the perch. And you can
that was so awesome.
Cool with the Spider-Man music in the background. I loved the banter between the three Spider-Mans though. It felt realistic. It felt like a bunch of nerdy guys just getting together talking about their powers.
Oh, it was so cool listening to them. How Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland are looking at Toby Maguire and they're like, you don't need web shooters? And they're like,
so funny.
And they're like, how do you make it? And he's like, I don't know, it just happens. And they're like, oh, I wish. I have to make web shooters. Do you know how hard it is to make these things?
It was so funny when Andrew cracked Toby Maguire's back.
That was so funny, dude.
Do you know that was a callback to when they were filming the first three Spider-Man movies? Toby had back problems and almost couldn't do the film. He had issues with the director because he couldn't do stunts because of his back.
That's funny.
It was so it's just the banter. It felt all three are pretty good actors. That was realistic banter.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it was great because
yeah, it totally felt like there were three Spider-Man.
Yeah, none of it felt forced. None of the dialogue between the three of them. And did you know the Andrew Garfield line where he's like, I love you guys? Did you know that was improvised?
Yeah, I think I heard that. It's just this, because a lot of MCU movies have the problem of having very forced, jokey dialogue. It's not that good.
Yeah.
And they just will force, and one of my friends brought this up, is that a lot of times there'd be this movie would try to be serious, but they'd do a joke during the serious moment. And yeah, it does happen. But to be fair, that's just a Marvel problem in general. Is a lot of times they will never let a dramatic moment be dramatic because they have to throw in a joke. Because I don't know why.
Oh, except for the part where Aunt May dies.
Which I'm very, very happy they did not throw a MCU joke in the middle of that scene. That would have ruined it.
Dude, you cannot do that.
To be fair, this movie isn't made by Disney, though. It's made by Sony.
That's true.
It's weird. Their relationship with Spider-Man's weird.
Why has Disney not been able to reacquire Spider-Man yet? They own everything else on the face of this earth.
No, they own the merchandise marks of Spider-Man, which is, to be fair, makes way more money.
Well, yeah.
But Sony would never give them up, because if you look at Sony's top 10 movies, 8 of them are Spider-Man films, or Venom is one of...
yeah.
8 of them are Spider-Man related films, or 7, I don't know.
So how about our end credits scene?
Yeah, now Venom's officially in the MCU. I don't know, because there's been rumors that, there's going to be another Tom Holland trilogy after this. Maybe it'll be a standalone film. Who knows? Because I'm assuming they're going to do a Miles Morales live-action film as well. That seems to be...
Yeah, well, that seems fitting, especially now that the multiverse
I think they confirmed that they're
explode.
doing a Spider-Woman. That might not be MCU, though. Because they're doing...
Oh, you mean Spider-Gwen?
They're doing that, Yeah, it might be, because I think...
I think she's getting a TV show.
It might, I don't know, because Sony is doing... Well, Sony's the only big studio that doesn't have its own streaming service, so... I don't know if they're going to do a TV show or a movie, but it might not even be connected to the MCU, but I do believe they're doing a Spider-Woman. Because Spider-Woman and Spider-Gwen are 2 separate characters, I think. Yeah. I'm not super familiar with the comics, so I don't know.
Well, I'm not familiar with the comics, but we've got a whole bunch going around with, TV shows and movies, and here, let's see, I'm looking at the full list of upcoming Marvel shows releasing after Hawkeye.
There's so many.
There are so many coming down the line.
So many.
which I guess I like because when I saw Endgame in the theater, I liked it. I don't like it as much as Infinity War, but
Infinity War is the best Marvel movie. No one,
hands down. It's got all.
No one can argue it's the best one.
No, it's the best, but I guess like I saw Infinity War and I was like that was really good, or Endgame and I was like that's really good. But now it's over. Like, where do we go from here? And I'm glad that they're bringing in the multiverse, because now we've got room for a lot more weird, wacky shit to happen,
Yeah, I think there's a lot of cool things they can do. It's just like Marvel's track record of quality is a hit or miss.
That's true.
Here's the thing: a lot of people just love every Marvel movie. They're like, every Marvel movie is great. I'm like,
nah.
I wouldn't say there's one that's unwatchable, but there's some stinkers. There's some bad stinkers, and a lot of people are gonna be mad at me for this. Ant-Man and the Wasp, worst Marvel movie by far, by a lot. No one can argue. Sorry,
it was pretty bad.
It was terrible. I would still rather watch, and it wasn't bad in terms of like maybe it's the worst quality. No, it was just boring. I did not enjoy watching it, and I'd much rather watch The Hulk or Thor: The Dark World, which also both suck. I'd watch
they
those
are pretty
over.
bad.
I'd watch both
Thor:
of
The
those.
Dark World came out on my birthday. Did you know that?
That's pretty funny.
I share a birthday with like
That's,
the worst Thor movie.
But the only two Marvel movies because I've seen No Way Home more than once. The only ones I've only seen once and don't really want to rewatch are Captain Marvel and Ant-Man and the Wasp. I don't really want to see either of those again.
They really were not that good. So
Captain Marvel was a little better than Nick Fury's pretty good in that movie. That movie's a little bit better than Ant-Man and the Wasp.
A little bit.
Yeah, that movie's better than like Thor and like Hulk, but I don't want.
Yeah, so for our upcoming shows, it's a lot of stuff that I'm not familiar with. Miss Marvel is coming down the line.
That's a movie.
Oh, that's a movie?
That's Captain Marvel too.
Oh yeah.
Because they're doing a team. I think Marvel doesn't think she can carry another film again. So
yeah, no, yeah. Now it's gonna be the Marvels.
Even though Captain Marvel made a ton of money. So.
Yeah, it's gonna be the Marvels. Well, dude, because of the end of Infinity War.
Yeah.
They show the the Captain Marvel logo, and it's like, oh my god, she's gonna save the day, and then she like doesn't do anything.
No, she comes in and destroys Thanos' ship.
Yeah, but like, I don't know, she's really just not that great. Even in Endgame,
yeah,
like she doesn't provide
like her
that
character
much.
that much.
So
her character has a lot of potential, and I think they wasted it.
Yeah, so you're right. Miss Marvel.
Let's talk for another day.
Miss Marvel is a movie.
Yeah.
And there's a show coming, or another movie called The Marvels, which I guess is about the team.
Yeah.
Of Marvels.
Every movie and a show, why not?
Why not? Well, another show, we got She-Hulk.
That could be interesting.
I don't know.
Isn't she a lawyer? I'm pretty sure she's a lawyer. It'd be so funny. It's just all hooked up, and it's just like Better Call Saul or something, where it's like they're in the lawyer scenes, and it's just She-Hulk. That'd be pretty funny.
The one I'm really excited for, because I know nothing about him, I am excited for the Moon Knight show.
Oh, I'm so excited. Have you ever seen like the comics things where he's just like, random bullshit, go, and he starts throwing stuff?
No, I've literally never. I don't know anything about Moon Knight.
You haven't seen the memes of like just some comic strips of Moon Knight, and they're so funny. I'm very excited. That's like the one Marvel show I'm very excited for.
No, well, so we've got Nick Fury coming back, Secret Invasion,
That's actually, I'm kind of excited, because that's going to tie in with, because at the end of WandaVision, they're tying that in. Yeah, they even mentioned it in the new Spider movie that Nick Fury's up in space.
Yeah. Some of these, though, Werewolf by Night.
I don't know.
Ironheart.
No.
Armor Wars. I Am Groot. I'm not excited for I Am Groot.
I Am Groot.
What the hell are they? What the hell are they gonna do?
That's probably gonna be a kids show.
It better be. This better not be anything that kid friendly shorts. Okay. Yeah, Armor Wars is like.
Isn't there a Zombies, Marvel Zombies?
Marvel Zombies is getting a show. I
did not like the What If episode of Marvel Zombies.
Look, if they do like the action right, and to be honest, I know it's never gonna happen. God, just make it TV mature and make it violent.
They won't do that. It's Disney.
Make it like The Walking Dead, but with superheroes.
No, it's
please.
Disney Plus. It's Disney Plus. PG-13.
I know.
They do not do rated R content for Disney Plus.
Deadpool's on there, isn't it? Deadpool's not on Disney Plus?
No, they would never put Deadpool on there.
Oh yeah.
They only recently added like the X-Men movies. We're not adding Deadpool or Logan. Those will be on Hulu because Disney owns Hulu too.
God, I don't know. I wish they would do that. Especially because we already talked about how good the Suicide Squad was with R-rated, but
yeah, that movie's great. I'm excited to see the Peacemaker show.
Oh, me too. Well, maybe not next episode because this is a big TV show superhero one. We'll wait a little while. Maybe we'll wait until the end of Peacemaker to really get into it and talk about that one. But we're getting right about to 40 minutes. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, one thing. Willem Dafoe when he steals the donut on the table.
That was funny.
He goes over to talk to people. He's like, "Oh, donut," and just puts in his coat.
I love when he shows up. He's like a hobo.
Yeah, it's just a hobo, and he's like, "I don't know where I am," and then he walks away. And have you seen the meme where it's like Green Goblin staring at the donuts on the table, just steals them? That was great. And this is interesting to me, and I think this is a good sign. Is that Spider-Man right here has made $1,544,000,000 at the worldwide box office without China. Not including China. That is very impressive.
Yeah, and that's a ton of money.
I'm hoping that Marvel and even other studios like DC will look at it and be like, all right, this is what people want. If you do a story and you do it well and you can incorporate other characters, people will show, because this isn't a pandemic and people are still showing up to this. This movie's breaking records. And I guarantee if this movie came out non-COVID, it would be pushing Endgame.
Yeah. Oh, guaranteed.
And if it came out in China, and it would need China to.
Yeah. That's true.
It's just that's a ton of money, and hopefully a lot, because there was a lot of movies that came out this year that were not that good. Especially a lot of franchise films that just dropped the ball, and everyone's guilty of it. No one's safe. But
I don't know. I guess franchise films is kind of starting to suffer from the same thing a lot of games that I used to do. They're getting too comfortable, Yeah. They're starting to.
The problem is they just make so much money that they keep pumping them out.
Yeah, it's like repeats, yearly releases,
and no one's not going to go see a new Marvel film. People are going to go see a new Marvel film.
Especially because even if it's not that great, there could be information in there that's vital to the next one or the next Avengers.
Yeah, you have to see them all.
The next ensemble, because if not, you could miss something.
Yeah, but Spider-Man was good. I put it as number 5.
Spider-Man was great.
Maybe I'll move it down the more I think about it, but I think right now I'm comfortable being the 5th best Marvel
I think it's
movie.
better than Endgame.
Oh, definitely better than Endgame.
I'd keep it at number 5.
And I liked it better than the other 2 MCU Spider-Man movies. I think it's the best. It's the most Peter Parker. It's the most Spider-Man film of the 3.
Yeah.
The other 2 relied a lot on the Avengers. This one, and now Peter Parker's he's Spider-Man. He's where Toby Maguire was in the first film.
Yeah.
And he's he has a shitty apartment, he has his police radio, he has his homemade suit, and now he's just going to do Spider-Man things, and he's not really the Avengers Spider-Man anymore.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm curious. We haven't gotten really anything Avengers for the last, 2 years?
Yeah,
3 years?
Interesting.
And I don't really know where it's going, because, did the Avengers break up now that Infinity War's over? Or are we going to get another big bad that's going to, bring us into another ensemble?
It might, but I do have one question before we end. Do you think No Way Home is better than Spider-Man 2? Because that's usually considered the best Spider-Man film. Live action. And excluding Into the Spider-Verse, which is the best.
Yes.
Do you think Spider-Man 2 or No Way Home is better?
I think I still have to give it to Spider-Man 2, but
I agree.
That could be partially nostalgia talking.
Yeah, but to be fair, you can watch Spider-Man 2 as a standalone film.
That's
you don't need
true.
to watch anything. Even you should watch the first one, but you can still watch Spider-Man 2 on its own.
Yeah, and you'll understand what's going on.
So I think Spider-Man 2 edges it just a little bit.
And even, Spider-Man 2, it gives you enough context of, Harry knows Spider-Man killed his dad.
Yeah.
So you don't even need to see that happen to understand, his motivation for not liking Spider-Man. It's not just out of the blue, oh, I hate Spider-Man, because there's flashbacks where you see him laying down Willem Dafoe's corpse.
Yeah, so I think Spider-Man 2 is this Spider-Verse, Spider-Man 2, then No Way Home.
I agree there. Yeah, drop a like if next time you want the full release Marvel tier list.
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
We'll give a 1 hour review on each movie.
I don't know. We don't.
That's never been done before. No one's ever reviewed these films.
I don't know that we have a strong superhero fan base. I mean, we've talked about superheroes. Maybe we do.
These are the most underrated films, bro. No one's ever seen these.
Yeah, these are secret. No, we'll have to start doing movie reviews for Spawn and the
Spawn,
and
Blade.
and
we should watch Blade. Blade sounds kind of cool.
Okay, Blade is really cool. Yeah. No, we should do a review of the original Daredevil.
Oh my, with Ben Affleck.
The one with Ben Affleck.
That'd be pretty fun. Oh yeah, Daredevil is in the MCU now. Yep. Which is kind of cool.
And so is Kingpin. He was brought in with Hawkeye.
Okay, yeah, but we'll talk about those later.
We'll talk about that later. Yeah. Well, I think we're at a good time. You want to wrap?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening. We'll catch you in hopefully about a week. next episode.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks.
Here they come now. Watch out, folks. Now get ready for the